All right. What's up? What's up? What's up? How we doing today? The Bitcoin dump continues. Let me go ahead and change screens here and let's get the party started. Where is... You Mitt, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. What's up, guys? So, apologize. I know I kind of had plans to stream today. Well, let me turn on my mic. Yeah, it should be better. Yeah. Hold on. Where's the sound? Check. Okay. So I kind of had plans. I did have plans to stream today. I wanted to stream earlier, but had some stuff going on. Getting ready for more snow tomorrow, which gotta love it if you live in the Northeast. It's not gonna be anything crazy, but just the basic maintenance stuff, and also getting ready to tackle on the weekend for me. Wow, everything's going. So I haven't really looked at the charts until recently before I hopped on. But yeah. Business as usual. The dump continues. Now, we're going to be talking about, I'm just going to reiterate what I'm looking for in a course of like a longer term period. Give you guys an idea of like a macro idea that I have. And to be honest, I'm not surprised. We just got to take things one level at a time. But I'll go ahead and just kind of illustrate what I'm looking for in the larger term perspective and give you guys an idea of, wow, I still can't believe I haven't changed this yet. Let's save this as a blank slate. Here you go. So, first things first, on the macro scale, the macro idea, I have two main ideas that I'm working with. If you guys don't know how I trade and how I approach trading in this market, I use something called the ABC strategy, which pretty much we're looking for either lower lows, higher highs, mostly on, I would say, a larger time frame perspective, anywhere from the 2 hour to 4 hour, all the way up to like a more macro idea, something like this. You know, we talked about this back when this happened, back in November. Wow, it's been almost, well, this year's going to be 3 years this November. We talked about this in the past as a potential top. Sure enough, you know, history, basically the rest speaks for itself. But on the course of a larger scale and a larger idea, this is kind of the two main things that I'm going with. I had this as my main idea for a while. This is kind of going on my still in like my top two, but I'm leaning more towards the second idea. But I'm going to give you guys this idea first because this can still happen. But something that I realized as price has been continuing to climb, especially up to this 48K to 50K region. I don't put this as high as a probability as I once did, but the main idea is that I would like to see something like, well, this was the original idea. I wanted to see something like this form first, to where we actually came back down, broke the low, and then continued, and then potentially started talking about a longer term reversal. But this B wave is just further extended to the upside. We can still go ahead and do this. Now, if you're here to ask me where I think price can go all the way down to and bottom out at, you're asking the wrong guy. That's not what I do here. The main idea is just to kind of show you guys what price can do and how to prepare yourself for it. Now, with these retracements and these dumps and the way kind of things play out, especially now that we're getting closer to the halving, it's a little bit, I wouldn't say easier to figure out, but if we go back in history always finds the way to rhyme, not repeat. That's important. Not repeat, but rhyme. So price action that happened in the past can happen, maybe not to the same extent, or maybe to a larger extent. We don't know. But I've talked about this in the past. What has happened, or what we are currently going through, is, I guess, the retesting of prior resistance levels, which we have done. Right. And now I'm looking for a retest of more recent supports, if not breaking the all-time, or not the all-time low, but breaking the heaviest low from the previous bear market, I would say. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what I'm looking for. But the main idea that I'm rolling with at the moment, since this is considered a secondary idea, this can still happen. All right. But if we do find ourselves falling all the way back down to 15.5K, the plan is is I'm going to be heavily buying. Now, don't get me wrong, I did accumulate some spot up and down in this region. I did accumulate a little bit down in this region. So I still have a spot position, but I was hoping for a little bit more of a bigger setup to form before we can actually go ahead and start heavily accumulating. But if we do break down below 15.5K, pretty much anything down in this region is going to be pretty much a buy zone for me. But most importantly, I'm going to be a lot more confident in a bullish position once price starts to climb back up, sustain itself, and then continue, as this setup is going to be more concrete once we do get a actual reversal back above that pivot. You know, this is the worst case scenario in my opinion. This is my main idea. This is kind of the more, how do I say this, realistic scenario, and based off of what I've been seeing and how price has been developing over the last couple months, is something that I've talked about, not even ABC related. All right, I've talked about this plenty of times. This pattern is probably the most bullish pattern you can look for in Bitcoin, is something called the Adam and Eve. Now, if you guys don't know what the Adam and Eve is, pretty much we're looking for now this can happen on, I guess, the reverse side. I'll explain, I'll show, but we're not really looking for a reverse Adam and Eve, but it can play out like that. But what we're looking for is a sharp decline, a sharp retest, and then we're waiting for price to actually kind of take its time, test levels of support, and form a rounded bottom. Once price breaks above that, you know, we would like to see price build up momentum and then possibly consider talking about new all-time highs. This is the main idea currently that I'm working with, that I personally think that it's most likely going to happen. Doesn't mean that I can't prepare for the new low scenario. It's just because price has been extending so far to the upside, the likelihood of price dropping another, what is this from the top, another 70% again, is less likely. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's less likely. So I'm not gonna go ahead and ultimately basically sit on the sidelines until this happens. I have a backup plan, and yes, if I do plan on accumulating more as we go ahead and test area of supports. If we do fall below that 15.5K, that's fine. I always have a little bit on reserve to buy more in case one plan fails over the other, or one plan becomes a priority over the other. So the Adam and Eve that we're looking for. All right, we got Adam. Now we just need Eve to form. Now Eve can form. That was a really bad one. Eve can form a smaller rounded bottom like that, or it can come back down, really take its time, and form something like that. And the levels I'm looking for and the levels I'm basing that off of are these supports here. Let me just kind of zoom in a little bit and show you guys what I'm working with. So mainly the main supports I'm looking for price to test is going to be around that 25K region. And if that fails, I'm going to be looking for somewhere around the 19K region. Now, I plan on buying on both touches of support here, but to me, it's not necessarily, I'm not looking for one over the other. So it can form down here at 25K, or we can go a little bit deeper, form that rounded bottom, potentially find a lower at 19, and then, look for a longer term consolidation and eventually break. I know, to me, I can't really put a timeline on this kind of scenario. The only thing I can say at the moment are two things. One, price always declines faster than it pushes to the upside. That makes sense. Price, the bear markets usually occur a lot quicker than bull markets do. Because a lot of the times we're taking that consolidation phase into consideration for the part of the bullish cycle or the next bullish cycle. That's how I like to view it. We can kind of compare over here. Let me give you guys a scenario. Let's look at the last bear market. That lasted about a year, right? And I'll even throw this out there. I won't even start from here. I'll start from here. So let's take this low. So the high, this took almost twice as long. So just keep in mind that, price always likes to drop. Price tends to drop quicker than it does rise to the upside. So we can get a nice swift move down to 25K within a couple months and take its time, consolidate, establish support, and then ready to go. I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see. Sorry, I haven't caught up with chat yet. Let's see. You met BTC short from 49K. Let's go. That's awesome, man. Awesome. AZ TV, long it, brother. We'll see. We'll see. If the setup's there, maybe I might take a hedge long, but I don't see one at the moment. Upside down head. What's up, Johnny? Long time no chat. It has been a while. How you doing? Good to see you. Teenagers from Mars. Good morning. Johnny Crypto is back. Back and better than ever. My man Johnny, glad to see you, brother. Good to see you too, Joe. How you doing? How's everyone doing? Yeah, I figured, I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna be tough to give you guys a little bit of updates on every single move that happens because that's not what I do. I look for the larger term levels to be tested. And actually, we're kind of close to one of the, I guess you would say, major support regions that I'm looking for. I wouldn't really consider this a major one, but we're kind of in this pocket right here. So I honestly don't think this is going to hold, but it's one of those scenarios to where we can find ourselves a support here, maybe come back up, retest before breaking, maybe forming something like this. That would be nice. But I don't think this is going to be the bottom and then we're just going to keep going up. Definitely going to be a good area for a bounce. Not sure exactly what is going to happen, but good area for a bounce. But if this fails, there's really nothing else holding BTC. I mean, you can kind of talk about this level here around 35K, 34.7. I'm not really the biggest fan of that. It's so minuscule on the larger scale that to me it's just insignificant. Let's see. I like it as long as it's above January 2021 high. What's that? Oh, this one? Okay. Okay. We're kind of in that zone. Let's see. I've heard the S&P 500 is most important to look at now that we have BTC ETFs. I think, yeah, that's definitely, I mean, people always make the argument that BTC is somehow decorrelated from the regular markets or other markets. It's not, guys. We're not. Will it happen at some point? Maybe in the future. But to say that Bitcoin goes against how traditional markets move now is kind of ridiculous. It's too early. I mean, I haven't really looked at. I really want to see the SPY break that high, man. Well, not that I want to, but if the S&P breaks that previous high and gives us that larger ABC and we do not, I'm telling you, the only way this works, and it doesn't work out in a worst case scenario, is price needs to establish itself and really take off. All right, if price doesn't take off, all we really need is a slightly higher high. And then that's it. And what do I mean by that's it? Well, we look at the S&P on a larger term time frame, larger scale. There's a ginormous ABC. The last time this happened to this magnitude with this very pronounced separation in trend, you guys can sit here and say ABC here, ABC here. Yes, technically, yes, these are all ABCs. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I need to do something. All right, sorry about that. Okay, let's see. But yeah, what I was saying was the last time this happened on a larger scale was back on good old 2008. Where all price needed to do was put in an ever so slightly higher high. I mean, what's the difference here? Hold on, what's the difference? %, and then the recession happened. So I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm not trying to say that this is going to happen. If it does happen, it's definitely not going to be on the same scale as this. You know, I would like to see previous supports on the S&P tested. The biggest one that sticks out to me is around 350. But if 350 breaks, I mean, I really don't see anything. I don't see a reason why the S&P can't test 217, but that's a big jump. Clap Show, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Let's see. Yes, if it's reclaimed, that would be nice. We'll see. Traditional players are here and shilling BTC to boom via ETF. Well, you got to think, why do we need people to hype up these kind of events? Why do we need people to get into the markets? Remember, you gotta observe things from I wouldn't say what's the right way to put this? You gotta observe things from a different point of view, right? Think of it from a more, I wouldn't say institutional standpoint, but think of it if you're a larger player in this game. How does price move? How are you able to get in and out of positions? You need people to buy and sell into it. Now, it's not just like us where we can buy $1,000 of BTC here, you know, or let's say you're a bigger player, even $10, $50, $100,000 worth of BTC. It's not that much in the grand scheme of things. These big players are playing with millions, tens of millions, who knows, maybe possibly more. They're playing with larger positions. In order for price to fill these orders on a much larger scale, you need people to buy into them. Now, a lot of the times what ends up happening is you'll never see a $50 million sell order pop up on Coinbase. A lot of these transactions are done OTC or over the counter. And because of, how do I say this? Because of lack of regulation and all that stuff. I'm not saying that's a bad or good or bad thing, but stuff like this is able to happen behind the scenes because there are really no rules when it comes to how BTC is transferred. And how do I say this? I mean, I'm not trying to argue it from a moral standpoint. It's just the reality of the situation is that in order for these buyers, in order to these sellers to make their larger positions, or these larger players to make these positions, we need volume to come in. The only way to get volume in is to either scare people out of positions or force FOMO into the markets. ETFs, other big, I don't know why I can't think of the other ones, like CME futures. Basically, different avenues for people to get into this, or more legitimate avenues for people to get into BTC. It doesn't necessarily help its case in the shorter to nearer term. Now, don't get me wrong. In the longer term, I would say, 5 to 10 years from now, absolutely, it can have a major role into the sustainability and the longer term success of Bitcoin. But to sit here and say that an ETF is going to make price go to 100K within the next 6 months, not really realistic. Let's see. Traditional players are here and chilling. Okay. What's the ABC short win rate on the SPY? I mean, if you're only playing macros, I mean, you haven't. I don't think you would have taken that many. I'm curious myself. All right, if you're taking those kind of ABC positions, the only you might have taken like 3 or 4 positions. I would say this one, and then this one. Maybe this one you can make an argument for. That's a nice long position down there. That would have been a fantastic. That would have been a really good buy position for the S&P. But yeah. If the market doesn't put in that higher high, if the market does put in that higher high and we don't immediately reverse, maybe things might be better in the longer term. Who knows? Let's see. BTC 4-hour RSI is looking to form bullish divergence, or it's over. I haven't really looked at that. Now, which are you using? The normal RSI or the better version, the Chad version of RSI? Where's the background? Yeah, I see it. I mean, everything looks pretty normal. Yeah, even like on the 4-hour RSI. Yeah, it's possible we could bounce. You guys know how I handle the RSI. Let's see. Jim Cramer's also calling for more downside. I haven't kept up with Jim Cramer saying. It's also possible that we could bounce from here. I agree. I think we should remember that these companies now have BTC ETFs, want lower prices to incentivize their customers to buy. Possible ABC on BTC 2-hour. I don't know about that, Joe. Respectfully, Chad version. Nice. What's that about? Yeah, so basically, going back to the good old, this is back in like 2021, 2020. But I used to trade on a different version of the RSI. The normal version is 14, right? What you do is that you can see that every single move is exaggerated on the 14 RSI. What you do instead is you go to the RSI length, change this to 125. And what this does is this gives you a less exaggerated version of the RSI. And it tells you where the true divergences are. That's why I call it the Chad version, because this is the real RSI you want to be playing with. No worries, AC. But if BTC ran 100K tomorrow, it would incentivize there would be customers having to get into BTC ETF. They need lower prices. Yeah, I agree, Joe. I agree. I just think on a longer term scale, we need price to test supports. All right. And to me, this isn't a reasonable test of supports, in my opinion. This is more of a range. This looks more like a range. This was a range as well, but this broke out of that range. So we broke out, and now we need to come back down and test areas of support based on what the trend has showed us previously. Is that a beer, Johnny? No, it's just water. H2O. Oops, I mean kombucha. Nope, just good old H2O. Oh, it's really starting to get dark. All right, let's take a look at other coins because I haven't done that yet. Let's see. Oh, KDA. It's on the naughty list. KDA, okay. I want to look at KDA on the KuCoin chart. All right, so for KDA, you guys know I've been DCAing KDA for a while, buying little pieces, little sprinkles here and there. I am saving a good majority of my buy-in for KDA for pretty much this region here. Now, theoretically, on a larger term time frame, we do have a potential larger ABC in play. Okay, so if we do put if we put in a lower low below 40 cents, that is going to be a potential, I guess, trend shift on a larger scale for KDA. And if you guys don't know by now, I've talked about this plenty of times, but I have very, very high expectations. I have high, but also kind of realistic expectations for KDA. In my opinion, this is, I think, $50 to $75 is a good target for KDA. So if we can get a buy-in at 40 cents, that'd be fantastic. Ideally, I would like to get a very, very large buy order around like 31 cents. Now, when I say this, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. But to me, this is going to be the Grand Slam coin of the next bull run. Some people had Solana, some people had other coins. To me, this is going to be my Grand Slam coin. I only plan on putting a small amount, but the small amount can return a lot of money. Let's see. Inverse trade, I guess. Did your area get hammered with snow last week? Heard East Coast was kind of wild. Yeah, we got probably where I live like 8 inches, 7 to 8 inches. And then we had more snow. That was last week or 2 weeks ago. No, it was 2 weeks ago. Then when did it snow? Tuesday? Tuesday wasn't that bad. We got like another 4 to 5. And then we're supposed to get another 2 to 4 tomorrow. So. KDA is still so hard to purchase. If any big exchange picks them up, it could fly. Doesn't Binance US still? I mean, it's been a while since I bought, but I'm pretty sure I was able to buy on Binance US not too long ago. I don't remember the last time I bought KDA, to be honest. Oh, come on. It's making me re-log in. $466,066. Let me double check. Skip. Binance app like updated. Yeah, you can still buy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you can still buy KDN on Binance US. Let's see. 1 billion official in BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. Drop could have been to hash rate talking to dive due to the Texas miners shut down during 3-day ice winter. Today is first day of ice weather being over. Yeah, AZ, I read about 20% of half. Wow, that's crazy. 20%? Let's see how the other coins are doing. Solana still kind of in its range. Nothing else has like XRP still kind of in its range. ETH, how's ETH doing? Okay. ETH is in an interesting position. It's coming to the fact, or it's coming to the point of its potential ABC reversal period. This is not the clearest setup in my opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but this is out of the entire trend going up, this is the biggest separation in trend that I can see that looks like a valid ABC to me. So if you guys want to play that, you can. I have some ETH bags, but I'm only playing spot BTC at the moment. Should we hop in a scalp long on BTC right now? Let's see. If you're trying to scalp this, no. Smaller term time frame ABC. That's the move. So if you want to try that, you can. Personally, I don't know where you would take. I don't know where you would take profits. Maybe. Maybe that resistance or that resistance. I don't know about this one. That's a little bit too much. I'm gonna go for something like that. Not financial advice, but honestly, there's no preparation for weather like that here. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of places where it doesn't usually snow. They just don't know how to prepare whatsoever. So Johnny, are we gonna go wild with the ABC longs in the bull run or what? So I have two ideas for the bull run. We're gonna do two things. One of the biggest things I'm probably gonna focus on next bull run, if I'm able to zoom out, get that far. I don't think I'm able to. Can I not go back that far? I can't. All right, well, I'll just paint you a quick example. Basically what we were doing during the last bull run, which I had a is we were doing something called a breakout strategy or playing ranges. So basically what we would do is allow price to establish a range somewhere up in here. Let's say that. All right, and we would basically short below. You know, target an area of support, which was here. Got stopped. This wasn't the best. This wasn't the best point to do so because I believe. I forgot exactly how I did it. But yeah, basically, there's going to be a point to where price can establish ranges, take scalp trades between there. It's fun because there's a time and place to do so. But most importantly, what we're going to be looking for is looking to take breakout trades. So basically, all breakout trades is we allow price to basically establish resistances. And eventually, once price gets back above, you take the long. All right, and from there, you just target previous resistance levels. So right there, that would have been an 8 risk reward ratio trade, and we just compound it, and you just keep doing that over and over and over again. Now I know there was a point where price kind of dipped down, but during the actual bull run, I think this is gonna be more prevalent once we break all-time highs. But we'll see. Something like that. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun little challenge. I would take 50% out at 42,240, but everyone drives trucks in Texas. They should be fine. I'm just joking. I don't know about BTC hash rate. Just not too many people. Not too many people died. What if we already in bull run and top came late 2024 and we distribute all 2025 and nuke at late 2025? All crypto bros thought they would sell at the top of 2025. The main reason why, I mean, it could absolutely happen. The biggest reason why I don't think that's going to be the case is timing, right? Maybe because the halving is around. Well, this halving is going to be around like April, May. All right, so let's just say there. All right, and then from there, usually 3 to 6 months after, that's when we get our actual bull run. So we can theoretically pump into 2025, like throughout 2024 into 2025. It could be a short one. You never know. But usually the timelines are important to me. So break, 69, 70K. Who knows how far we go up? And it's possible that could be an actual. I just don't have a hard time believing that we're in a bull run now, just because of the timing. So literally the only time where I take timing into consideration is the Bitcoin halving. I know people use weird stuff like Fibonacci time sequences and all that. And sure, if you want to use that to trade, that's fine. Does it work? Maybe, but more often than not, stuff like that usually, you can use it to kind of conform to what you want. So just throwing that out there. I'm not trying to say anyone. Never mind. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Everyone ready to dump on retail while they're being retail themselves. I mean, there's people I know in my personal life who, it's one of those things to where I've been around for a very long time. All right. I understand how the markets work. I understand why the markets behave a certain way. And I put myself in the mindset of how would a whale do this, or how big players would play this. And you'd be surprised how much you can accomplish just from doing that alone. And one of the things that I've noticed is that ETF stuff, even to this day, I know people in my personal life who think ETF stuff is still bullish. And I've done my part to try to convince them otherwise, but hey, you can't win them all. So just to think, if people like that are thinking the ETF is bullish, how many more people are thinking the ETF is so bullish? You got to remember the positive news, even though it's creating people to buy, whales are outselling them. And it's going to, and if this is going to play out how the way I think it is going to play out, it's going to cause a much larger momentum shift. Just like back here, when this support broke, with all the FTX stuff that was going on, people were so bearish. And, I was calling for a potential bottom. Not the bottom, but a potential bottom. Michael Saylor said he would never sell, but he just sold like 2K BTC. Well, he was knocking on death's door too, because I think his liquidation price was not that far below 15K. He almost got margin called. All right. Let me just go over a couple more things. I'm gonna wrap this up relatively soon, just because I know it's late, and I apologize if you guys are across the pond over in Europe watching this. If you guys made it, and I know it's late, so if you guys made it and aren't sleeping, I do really appreciate it. But real quick, LTC is kind of still in its range. It had an ABC down here. That would have been a decent buy level. If that support breaks, we have 47 cents, $47, $40, and then ultimately, I'm looking at the wrong chart. $40, and then 24, 21. Go down the list. But those are important levels. ADA, same position. You gotta look at some prior supports below, but nothing really hasn't changed too much. ADA does have a decent ABC lined up. Is that a lower low? I can't tell. That is a lower low. That's a decent ABC. Did he really sell, Joe? AZ Google exist. Can someone confirm that? What do we have? About 50 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and play some Wordle. I've pretty much gone over the main coins I wanted to go over. Yeah, I really don't see anything else I really wanted to go over today. But plan is still going to plan. Plan's still going to plan. Plans are still, I guess the plan is still in motion. Things are looking good. We'll see how price behaves off of this kind of area of support here that we did test. So let's see. I'll leave price action up here. Raise. Okay, so we got 3 letters. Stool? Well, there's an E at the end, Joe. Bloomberg January 2nd sold 216 million worth. Oh wow. Stole? Why cheat when we have people who know, who are better, who know the vocabulary more than I do? Questionable. Questionable. All right, guys. So the plan, I'm going to be trying to stream at least once or twice a week. So this is this week's stream. Next week, with the Phantom Judas model trading, I believe tomorrow's a trading day, but I cannot do tomorrow because I have stuff to do. So next week I think is a regular week. So I'm gonna do my best to see. I gotta log into my other account. It's been so long since I logged into the Tradingview account. We're gonna be back doing that, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll probably be around. If I don't do that, I'll be around sometime next week. We'll see how price reacts here soon, in this range. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think if things are going to play out the way that I think it's going to play out, price always has a quicker reaction to the downside than to the upside. So let's see. That's funny. That's funny, Joe. This long the like button, also long BTC from 41.2. I appreciate that, AZ. Oh, also AZ, I relayed the message to Kite, and he was not happy. No, I'm kidding. Kite knows. Kite knew the whole time the Saudis were buying. He just didn't tell us. How could he? All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and say goodbye. It's that time. I know, tears, but we'll see each other soon. AZTV, Joe, Clap Show, Heather. Even though I think you cheated. Let's see, Joe, you Mitt. I know it's gonna be a smaller crowd because it is a weird time. Teenagers from Mars, I do appreciate you stopping by. Upside Down Head. Everyone who decided to show up today, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you. I'll be seeing you guys sometime next week. I'll let you guys know. It's probably gonna be sometime in the middle of the week. It's easier for me. But yeah. Until next time, be good, be safe, trade safe. Let's see what happens. Do the dominoes keep falling, or do we pump? Only one way to find out. All right, guys. Until next time, love you all. Bye-bye.